So using your term project, we'd like to create a rendered view. And to create a rendered view, the first thing you need to really do is to create a nice camera view. And normally you would like to look at architectural renders for examples. Okay, so maybe get some inspiration. And you'll notice that architectural renders, normally they would place some nice leaves, branches hanging from the top left corner of the frame, some shadow to create some nice depth towards the middle ground. So that will be your foreground object. Your building will be your middle ground, and then you'll try to use trees and the likes to cover the horizon. So that's for your background objects. So you'll notice that they'll do that here. Okay, let's see, look for some nice examples. Right? So other buildings. So you do have to prepare your scene. Sometimes you'll place some people walking. Okay. Some cars speeding away. That creates a nice depth, right? And nicer if you can have that. Notice these are lines, right? If you can have that pointing toward your building, right? Something like this, like a pedestrian line, bringing the eye towards your building. So that's always nice. Or creating some activities like, somebody walking. And then the next thing that you'd like to do after you place those elements is to place your building at the third of the frame. So if this is the frame of your rendering, you'd like to follow what photographers usually try to achieve, which is the rule of thirds in photography. So normally they will not place the object at the dead center of the frame. They would place it at the third of the frame, either at the top left, right, bottom left, right of the frame. Okay. It doesn't have to be exactly at the third, but normally it will be somewhere there. Okay. So you want to place your building at the third of the frame. So you'll have that imaginary division of 9 rectangles or squares. And then at the intersection, that's where you'd like to place your building. And it looks nice if you do something like that. Okay. So first thing you want to do is maybe go to your floor plan. And here, you'd like to zoom out and try to see where can I stand. That will be your camera position, so that I can create a nice perspective view of my building. So first thing you'd like to identify maybe is what is the nicest spot. If you're designing this, all spots, all angles should be nice, but what's the best one? So maybe the front normally will be one of the best areas to take a photo of. So you'll go here and create a camera view. So camera, You want to be at a nice spot away from your building, not too close, okay, not too far. So that would be your camera position. Now this here is your offset, meaning to say from the ground, that's the height of the camera. So you can always change that here. So this is from the finished ground floor. You can always say at what level is this offset from. So normally it's from the finished ground floor. Okay. So place your camera. And then here, you now will be placing your target. So for your target, you don't want to place it here in front of the building. This also serves as a clipping plane. So if you place it here, you will not be able to see your building. So you do want to bring it not just on the building itself, because that will cut a section, but you want to bring it way out. If you have trees here at the background, you want to go beyond that. And if you see the triangle, that's the field of vision. So you want to make sure that your building is within that triangle. So maybe I'll place it somewhere here. Okay. Now you can change the viewing limit. Normally, if you're placing some ground objects, you might want to place it here. So you might need some space. And to place it at the third, so let's say I want to place this at the third, I might maybe make this smaller, so closer to the building, and then maybe place this much longer, and I'll have some nice maybe tree branch here going in that direction, trying to point. So foreground objects should complement your building, so it should try to point towards the structure. Okay, so maybe that's a nice frame. You can always adjust that later. Okay, and you can type WT to tile. Let me just close this. WT ZA. So if you need to adjust, you can make some adjustments here. So you can always move this around. And you can always move this around. And you can change the clipping plane. Now, if you need to, you can go here while you're in your 3D view and change your eye elevation. So you can say, maybe I'd like to look way up. So this will be your eye level. You can go and create a worm's eye view. So worm's eye view is looking from below, so maybe from the ground, and maybe you'll have some blades of grass here. So by doing a lower eye level, maybe much lower, so maybe 100. Okay. And then if you want to, you can also create a bird's eye view by bringing your eye elevation higher. So let's say, let's go 5,000, okay, or maybe even higher. And then of course you can always adjust your frame. Maybe some area for the clouds. So if this is the third, create some imaginary line. So your building is at the third. Maybe you'll place some clouds there, and then your tree or branch trying to point towards your building. Okay. So eye elevation to change from a worm's eye view, human level, or bird's eye view. Likewise, you can change the target height as needed to make those adjustments. Okay, so that's how you set up your camera.